How goes it, everyone? I am the world famous Fat Kid, and here's the recap for week 7. We had 13 games, and it was a guaranteed win or loss record, and I'm sad. I'm very, very sad. Boo. Big ol' 4-9, which hurts a lot, especially since my preseason picks, the ones that I looked at when the schedule released and was like, yeah, these, I would have gone 9-4 if I'd just flip it. Oh, that's what I get for listening to myself. All right, with that, how about we go over these games and see where I screwed up and all that fun stuff. So, of course, we're gonna start with that Thursday night game, Jacksonville and Nolans. Now, Jacksonville started out real well. I mean, scored early, and New Orleans. I don't know what's going on. They missed a field goal on their opening drive and then got 2 gifted turnovers. Did nothing with it. Well, kicked a field goal, but essentially they moved maybe 8 yards. It was nothing. I don't know. They struggled early, but they could not stop ETN. 2 first half touchdowns. That a little sad that he missed his rookie year due to injury, because who knows where he would be at right now. But I don't know. It looks like New Orleans finally showed up in the second half because of a pick six. Now, I've said the defense has played pretty well. It struggled at times, but they've been doing pretty well. I mean, New Orleans came back, tied it, but then made the mistake and could not tackle Christian Kirk. So with only a few minutes left, 44-yard touchdown by Kirk to take the lead, and just New Orleans gets all the way down to the 3. First and goal. And, I mean, okay, I like Foster Moreau, cancer survivor, former Raider, good dude, good tight end. And he dropped a potential game-tying touchdown. Like, I mean, he was distraught on the sidelines. Everybody knew it. It was just a drop in the bucket, and it just off the hands. But that was on 3rd down. 4th down, incomplete pass. New Orleans cannot do it. And it's not like Carr had a terrible game. He didn't look great, but 301 yards, touchdown, pick. I mean, Kamara, 62 yards on the ground, 91 receiving yards. I mean, they were using him in the short pass game all day. But, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, he didn't even really have a big game either. 204 yards, the late touchdown to take the lead, eventually winning it. But opening drive, he was just running. And this was after last week when they thought his knee might be messed up. It looked to be fine. I don't know. But Jacksonville's offense is mediocre. Right now, it has bright spots, and that's what may get them in trouble. I think if Jacksonville can put the pressure on with their offense a little bit better, they are going to be scary because their defense is coming along nicely. They're playing really well. They're forcing turnovers. They're making big plays when they need to. If Jacksonville can get their offense consistent and the ability to hit the big plays, they're going to be real scary. So we started out real well with Thursday, and we got one of the four. Okay, we're gonna move on. That brings Detroit and Baltimore. I did not see this happening. I mean, obviously I picked Detroit, but I could see Baltimore winning, but I figured it'd be, one score game, maybe 6 points. No. Baltimore just came out swinging. Just, I mean, I even think running back one looked really good. This week, we're going to call him Lamar Jackson. I mean, 357 yards in the air, 3 touchdowns. That's, I mean, what can you say? Those are passer numbers right there. 36 yards on the ground. It's a mobile quarterback and a rushing touchdown. So this week, Lamar Jackson, you are no longer running back one. We'll see how it goes next week. But I don't have much to say other than Baltimore dominated this game. 28-0 at the half, and then just decided to coast and still outscore Detroit in the second half 10-6. Like, I mean, yeah. St. Brown, 13 catches, 102 yards. That's really Detroit's only bright spot. Whatever. I picked Detroit. I got it way wrong. Now we're gonna go to the hard part of this one for me. I'm gonna preface it. The Raiders are garbage. This game proved it. Raiders-Bears. The Bears were running at will. They didn't get a bunch of yards. Yeah, they did. They got 173 rushing yards. I can't lie. They just ran all over the Raiders. And it's not like the quarterback, I don't know how to pronounce it, Bagent. I'm going to call him Baguette. Tyson Baguette. I mean, he only threw for 162 yards and a touchdown. But he did enough to not lose the game. Because Foreman just decided to say, I'm going to wreck your house. I'm going to just pee all over your carpet. That's what he did. 16 carries, 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. Oh, on top of that, 3 catches for 31 yards and a touchdown. He was their offense. And Vegas couldn't stop him because they're garbage. Their head coach is trash. Their defensive coordinator is trash. Fire everyone. Everyone except for Crosby and Adams. Fire everybody else. Get fire sale. At one point, I was actually curious if the Raiders were going to make 10 points. And then they got the garbage time touchdown to Jacoby Myers. Ooh. I don't want to say that Chicago did anything well because they were playing the Raiders. The Raiders suck. But the run game was really good. So I'll give them that. Their run blocking was sound. It kept opening up lanes. They exploited a weakness. Kudos to the Bears. Good job. I picked the Raiders because I'm stupid. Moving on. Now, this Cleveland and Indy, Browns-Colts, this was an interesting game. First off, those blue and black helmet uniforms that the Colts debuted, I like them. They look good. Now, with that being said, Minshew, not a bad game. Came back after that debacle he had last game. Wasn't playing that well. Looked good. 305 yards, 2 touchdowns. Had a pick. But 3 carries, 29 yards, 2 touchdowns. That's pretty good. I mean, they went back and forth early. Browns went up. Colts tied it. Colts went up. Browns tied it. Browns kick a field goal. Colts score a touchdown. Browns score a touchdown. Colts kick. Like, they were going back and forth. But Myles Garrett was a problem all game. I mean, let's see here. He had a blocked field goal. He had a strip sack resulting in a defensive touchdown. Like, he alone also had 9 tackles, which on top of that strip sack, he had another sack. Like, Myles Garrett was causing issues. And Indy could not stop him. Good job. I mean, Cleveland had, I believe, a 10-point lead at one point. Or 9, I don't know. And Indy just kept coming back. Finally took the lead, but... So, Indy had the lead late in the fourth. Got a strip sack that would have sealed the game for them. But there was laundry on the field. There was a flag for what I think to be a real squirrely penalty that then Cleveland drove down, got into the red zone, I believe got in inside the 10, and there was a second penalty, I believe pass interference in the end zone, where they were hand fighting, and that was another tacky, and Kareem Hunt punched it in to take the lead with 15 seconds left. That was icky. Like, that game, not even the worst call, by the way, not even the worst call of the day. We'll get there. But those two obviously changed the winner of the game. I picked Cleveland, but I was fine with losing because I was already... it didn't matter. It was a good game, and then those 2 penalties changed it. And very upsetting. Very upsetting. Indy should have won, but the refs kind of screwed them over. I picked Cleveland. I got lucky because of refs interference, and that I don't even care about the wins and losses. We're just going to recap the games now because Buffalo, New England. I got it wrong. Woo. Now, I thought New England would come out and give Buffalo a problem. Sorry, something's in my eye. Good times. Because division games are always tough. You know? So I figured New England would come out and give them a problem. I didn't fully expect them to win. Weird. Josh Allen just keeps turning the ball over. I know he has the gunslinger mentality. But when is enough, you know? I'm not saying he's going to get benched, but something's got to change, right? I mean, he threw a pick on his first throw of the game. That's not going to get you in any kind of rhythm. That offense could not make up for that ground. I mean, Buffalo took from opening kickoff to about 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Buffalo had to recover from their mistakes. And New England scores with 12 seconds left to win the game. Like, Buffalo's defense should not have allowed that. They're better than that. I don't know what happened, but it's weird. There's a lot of games like this year. Hey, Mac Jones actually looked like a decent quarterback. 272 yards, 2 touchdowns. We know he's not, but he looked like it. So yeah, Buffalo lost to a division opponent. Ugh. We'll move on to another ugly game. Actually, probably the ugliest game of the week. Washington and the Giants. Now, again, a divisional game. Those are always tough. But this one, Washington has been playing so much better than the Giants. This one came out of left field, in my opinion. Speaking of left field, World Series. Diamondbacks, Rangers. Woo! I can actually watch it because fuck the Astros. Okay. Anyway, the Giants just coming out early, taking control of the game, just saying, nope, this is mine. And honestly, Tyrod Taylor, he may become the starter. I would give him the starting position over Daniel Jones. He's played much better, less turnovers. I think he gives them the best chance to win, but it depends on what they want to do. Do they want to be bad or do they want to try to win? I don't know, but I mean, Giants jump. So this game was really kind of ugly because it was all Giants first half. And then second half, Washington started to get some breaks, but couldn't. They cashed in once and got a touchdown to cut it to 14-7, and couldn't do anything from there. Sam Howell starting to come back down. He played really well for the first few weeks, and now he's starting to come back down. They really had no run game. It's just Washington's got to figure it out. I'm disappointed in them. Whatever. And of course, Darren Waller. Oh, you dropped me on your fantasy. I'm going to start playing. Whatever. Yeah, I picked. Whatever. It doesn't matter. I don't care about picks. Shut up. Okay. Now, pretty good game coming up. The Falcons and the Bucks. There really wasn't much excitement going on. It was a lot of defense. I mean, they ended the half at 10 apiece. Okay, woo. But it was a real close game. Defensive struggle. They traded turnovers to start the second half. But Atlanta, I mean, Atlanta had to overcome Ritter with 3 fumbles. This man has been turning the ball over at an alarming rate. But Atlanta found a way to win. They got to kick a last-second field goal to win it 16-13. There's not a whole lot of analysis in this because it was mostly defense. I mean, outside of Baker Mayfield getting this huge scramble under 2 minutes to put them in a position to tie the game at 13, they were pretty solid throughout. I mean, 275 passing yards for Mayfield, 250 for Ritter. That's about average. Maybe a little over average for today's NFL. So it's not like, oh, wow, they were throwing the ball up. It was a pretty good defensive game. That's my opinion. You don't agree with it? Well, so we talked about the worst call of the week. Here it is. The Pittsburgh Steelers taking on the Los Angeles Rams. If you've seen highlights of this week, you've seen the call that I'm going to talk about. But first, there was nothing going on in the beginning of the game. They each had 2 drives. They each got 3 points. Woo. But just before the half, Rams get a touchdown. Hey, and miss the extra point. So it's 9-3 now. Which, those points could have been a big issue later in the game. Because they changed things. Because they also missed a field goal. Yeah. I mean, the Rams were actually moving the ball. They just couldn't, like, they'd get out of their own zone. They'd get near midfield, and then they'd get stopped. I mean, it's the Steelers' defense. That's what they're known for. But, I mean, yeah, 2 missed field goals by No, not Maher. He's not. Whatever. By the Rams kicker. Kickers, I'm not going to say, yeah, they don't matter. I don't care. He missed 2 field goals and an extra point. That's 7 points left on the field. What'd they lose by? 7. Not a good deal. But Steelers are driving, trying to salt away the game. They get to a 4th and 1 situation. Kenny Pickett, quarterback sneak, gets off left tackle, immediately hits a wall, gets dropped behind the line of scrimmage. The refs come in, they confer, they spot the ball, 1st down. Rams have no chance to try to tie the game. They got royally screwed by a terrible spot. And it's not like it was close. You could see Pickett clearly. He wasn't under a pile. He rolled off to the side. And there was a Rams player between him and the line of scrimmage and the 1st down. And the Rams player was just holding his arm so he couldn't try to sneak the ball forward. I'm not saying the Rams would have won, but they got screwed out of a chance to even try. So, a little disappointing. The refs have kind of affected too many games. But that's for another time. So, we're going to move on to another divisional game, Arizona and Seattle. Now, I'm very upset about this because I was talking a couple weeks ago about how the Cardinals have fought in every game, and then they've just kind of didn't have enough left in the tank to make it late. This time, they started out pretty quick. I mean, Seattle kind of let Dobbs just run it in from 25 yards out to take the lead because they missed like 3 tackles on the run. Whatever. But Arizona got 10 points in the first half. Didn't do jack for the rest of the game. Missed field goal, 4th and 2 or something, and they absolutely got destroyed on that play. I mean, Seattle wasn't exactly dominant. The Seahawks didn't just take the game by force. The defense just stopped a bad offense. I mean, Kenneth Walker, 105 yards. That's pretty good. Outside of that, you don't really have much to write home about. And here's a crazy game. Packers-Broncos. If you know, you know. Like, these are both bad teams. Like, they're both bad. The offenses cannot move the ball. Denver, 2 drives early in the game. a 62-yard drive and a 70-yard drive, both resulting in field goals. Green Bay, I think, no drive longer than 28 yards. I mean, and then when Green Bay finally decides to move the ball and get something going, they miss a field goal. That's how bad it's been for Green Bay. I bet some of you love it. It happens. I mean, so this game was so bad, it was 9-0 at half. Denver actually scored a touchdown. Woo. Only one of the game. Well, I can't say that because Green Bay did come back. They actually took the lead. 17-16 late in the fourth quarter. But their defense just, I don't know what they were doing, but they allowed wide open routes. And Denver just kind of, okay, I'm Russ. I'm cooking. I'm giving free range. Free reign. There we go. And they get stopped and kick a field goal. So Green Bay still has a chance. And Jordan Love made a terrible decision. Threw it into like triple coverage. And I mean, it was picked. Game over. Denver just had to kneel down. Well, actually they had to do 4 downs and whatever. It doesn't matter. Denver ended up winning because of a terrible decision by Jordan Love. Welcome to mediocre quarterback play, Green Bay fans. You've had it too good for too long. Yeah, you get no sympathy from the rest of the NFL. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, Denver ends up winning. That's number 2. Maybe they'll beat all 4 NFC North teams. I mean, they got the Bears, they got the Packers, both late game drives. Might happen, doubt it, but maybe. So then we're going to move on to an AFC West divisional matchup. The Chargers and the Chiefs. Okay, first I'm going to say this. Travis Kelce, break up with Taylor Swift. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm sick of hearing about Taylor Swift. Stop it. Plus, you need to go away. Honestly, I've said it and I'll keep saying it, and I will say it until I cannot say it anymore, and then I will just have somebody else say it for me. Travis Kelce is the passing offense. He is the safety, security, baby blanket. He is everything for Patrick Mahomes. He gets him into the rhythm, and then he starts dishing it out to other players. If him and Kelce cannot get going, that offense, that passing offense struggles. Period. End of story. I'm not saying anything you guys don't already know or that I haven't made that opinion / truth clear. I've said it before. I'll say it again. If you don't believe me, just watch. Okay, sorry. Travis Kelce, 143 receiving yards at half out of 321 for Mahomes. You take those yards away, Mahomes is still having a pretty good half. Right? Right. Travis Kelce only got 36 yards in the second half to finish with 179 yards. Granted, whatever works, right? But it's upsetting, to say the least. It's upsetting. You know who he's going to, but you can't stop him. Anyway, Justin Herbert, Still not clutch. Cannot depend on him. Too many mistakes. Okay, one of his interceptions in the red zone, it was tipped. He still hit. He's fantasy good sometimes. Yeah, Herbert's not the guy. That's all I'm gonna say. God, I hate the Chiefs. So moving on to Sunday night. This was an okay game for a little while. I mean, Philly, after losing to the Jets, decided, nah, this ain't happening again. And their defense just came to play. Like, they were harassing Tua all night. I mean, Mostert, who's been just running wild all over teams, only 45 yards. That's pretty good. They held Tyreek Hill to under 100. Still got a touchdown, but under 100 yards. That's pretty good. I mean, let's see here. I mean, Philly just had 2 long drives to just eat clock in the second half. And, I mean, Hurts still turning the ball over. That's a little worrisome, but you get wins. And now I have to backtrack. Me saying Miami could be the best team in the NFL, the scariest offense, because upon further reflection, Miami has really not beat any great caliber teams. They've lost to 2 playoff caliber teams. The Bills, which they're starting to slip, but that counts more against Miami. And Philadelphia. Philadelphia is a playoff caliber team. Went to the Super Bowl. Not having a Super Bowl hangover, so gotta give them credit for that. Miami has not put up numbers outside of bad teams. Is Miami, are the Dolphins a fraud? So far it's leaning towards yes, but we're about the midway point. There's still some time. We'll see what happens. Oh yeah, A.J. Brown, absolutely insane. Can't stop him. 10 catches, 137 yards, and a touchdown. Can't stop him. Crazy. Now, moving on to... Now, you don't have to believe me if you don't want to. The game that I picked for San Francisco's first loss before the season started, I picked Minnesota over the Niners. But I also thought that Minnesota would be essentially where the Lions are. I figured Minnesota was going to be running the NFC North. So, of course, juggernaut offense and defense in San Francisco. Vikings that have just been kind of smacked around a bit. No Justin Jefferson. Obviously, San Francisco should have the edge. Before the season, I thought it'd be more of a balance and Minnesota would win. But that's not what we're going off of. We're going off of the video I made where I picked San Francisco. I can't say they're in free fall. They're just playing badly right now. The defense, not as dominant as they were. Are they another team that only put up good numbers against bad teams? You can argue Cleveland, but Cleveland has a stout defense. Their offense, but their defense is really good. So, who knows? But, I mean, to start, they traded turnovers. That's a good start for both teams, jokingly. But for some odd reason, third downs, the San Francisco defense struggled. Could not make a stop. So Minnesota just dunk real quick. First down. Oh no, we're at 3rd and 7. Dunk, 9 yards. Cool. We're going to keep moving the ball. And this is without Justin Jefferson. So Addison decided, I'm going to have me a day. Because, somebody had to. 2 touchdowns. That man... Look, there's more to that game than I'm letting on. Because, well... I lost in fantasy football because of Jordan Addison and the Niners defense. But... doesn't matter. Whatever. It was just a bad game by the Niners. They even got a chance late, but Purdy threw a pick. Okay, the defense holds Minnesota to a field goal attempt to push the lead to 8. They miss because the Vikings are cursed at the kicker's position. But the Niners come back. They start moving the ball. And what does Purdy do? He throws another interception to end the game. Look, I don't want to take away anything from Minnesota. San Francisco, on paper, was the better team. The Vikings came out 378, 2 touchdowns, and a pick for Kirk Cousins. He played extremely well. After that pick early, which actually was just ripped away from Addison by Ward. After that pick, he settled down. He made some great passes. He made smart plays. Kept the ball moving. That's all you really need. I mean, because they don't have a run game. There's really very few teams that have a good run game. And that's been a theme. Weird. I mean, yeah, Addison, on top of the 2 touchdowns, 123 yards. Oh, and TJ Hawkinson. I mean, yeah, the Vikings fleeced the Lions on that trade. I mean, okay, maybe not fleeced, but the Vikings got a really good tight end, and he fits well in the system. That's fine, whatever. I'm still upset. I lost to people on a bye week. But it is what it is. So, terrible 4-9 week. But we got another week to go. So, hopefully we'll turn it around. But until the next video, thank you for showing up, and hope to see you in the next one. Later.